Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm 𝙎𝙐𝘽𝙎𝘀. Well, the Crusades, while controversial, have nonetheless achieved legendary status in the hearts of Christians for the last 1,000 years, in part because of the mythical heroes they involved. We've talked about many on this show. In the victorious First Crusade, there was among the Franks a man of this type of mythical heroism, a massive Norman warrior who stood on the front lines of this successful campaign of European nobles to free the Holy Land from the Turks. He was Bohemond I, Crusader prince and scourge of the Turks in the Near East. Now, Bohemond was born in the mid-11th century to a noble Norman family on the Italian peninsula. He was given the Christian name Mark at birth, but he was nicknamed Bohemond, named after the medieval myth giant warrior, and the name was well-deserved. Bohemond was the ideal Christian knight. He was religiously pious, he was a skilled fighter, and he was mighty in stature. Now, he would spend his life campaigning against several of the apocalyptic foes of Western medieval Christendom. First, it was against the Eastern Christian Byzantine Empire in the Mediterranean with his father, where he honed his skills and gained notoriety as a mighty warrior. But this first act in his life was merely a prologue for his acts of greatest prestige later in life, where he would travel further east than the Byzantine territory to the Holy Land itself, which had been, for the last 400 years, violently occupied by Muslim Turks. Christians in the Holy Land lived under constant threat of death, land seizure, and enslavement from their ruling Muslim warlords. As such, many of the thousands of knights who took the cross following Urban II's call to crusade in 1095 did so with pious and noble intentions, and Bohemond was one of these. He quickly became one of the chief leaders of the Prince's Crusade. Now, returning to the enemy he once fought in Constantinople, first, Bohemond negotiated an uneasy truce with Byzantine Emperor 𝙎𝙎𝘽𝙎𝘾𝙍𝙎𝘶. Alexios' daughter Anna chronicled much of this interaction and captured for us a clear and ideal picture of Bohemond. She wrote this of the Crusader, quote, "The appearance of this man was, to put it briefly, unlike that of any other man, whether Greek or barbarian, seen in those days on Roman soil. His stature was such that he towered almost a full cubit over the tallest man. He was slender of waist and flanks, with broad shoulders and chest, strong in the arms. Overall, he was neither too slender nor too heavily built, but fleshly, but perfectly proportioned." Well, Bohemond was as mighty in battle as he was handsome, according to Anna. He displayed great heroism at Nicaea and Antioch and was influential in the successful Christian recapture of these lands. For his courage at Antioch, he was hailed as the city's ruling prince, and the Principality of Antioch would become vital in the continuation of the Crusades for the next 2 centuries. Now, Bohemond spent the remainder of his life doing battle, mostly back with his eternal frenemies, the Byzantines. He would also return to Europe, he would marry, and he would have a son in his old age before his death in the year 1111. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. And if you want us to cover one of your favorite moments in history, you can tell us in the comments. Now stay tuned for some new content.